Hello everyone, I am Shrija.
And I'm currently a third year student at Vishnu Institute of Technology. Today I wanted to explain the key concepts in JavaScript like closure, promises, async, await, etc. So now first let us look at closure property. So it is a function that remembers and can access variables from its outer function. So let us look at an example. Here the outer function defines a variable, outer variable, and returns the inner function, which gives the output of outer variable. Even after the outer function finishes, inner function still has the access to the outer variable because of the closure. When we call the closure example, it prints I am the outer function because the inner function remembers the outer function scope. So this is how the closure function works. Now let us look at the callback function. So a callback function is simply a function that is passed as an argument to another function and is executed after some kind of task is completed. Here let us look at an example of how callback function works. So let us say we have a function that gives fetching data, and once it is done we want to process it. Here fetch data is a function that takes callback as an argument. So we use set timeout to simulate 2-second delay, and once the data is ready, we call the callback function with the data. In this case, process data is the callback that logs the data to the console. So let us run this and look at how it works. As you can see, first we can see that it is fetching the data, and after some delay we can see that it is printing the output in the console. So this is how the callback function works. And now let us move on to the promises. So a promise is generally an object that represents the completion or failure of an asynchronous operation. So it allows us to handle both success and error scenarios. So let us look at an example. So here in this example, fetch data returns a promise. Inside a promise, we use set timeout function that delay, then resolve or reject based on the success flag we have written. So if it is successful, the resolve function returns the data. Otherwise, the reject function is called with an error message. So, so let us look at it by running it. As you can see, first it is giving the fetching data, and after some delay, we got some output. So next, let us move on to the asynchronous await, async or await. So this is a newer or modern way to to handle the asynchronous code. So and it is built on the top of promises. It allows you to write asynchronous code that looks and behaves more like synchronous code, making it easier to read and manage. So let us look at an example. Here, fetch data is now an asynchronous function, which means it automatically returns a promise. Inside the function, we use the keyword await to pause the execution until the promise is resolved or rejected. The benefit here is that we can write asynchronous code in more readable and synchronous style. So, when you read this code, let us work on it. When you run this code, you will see fetching data, and then after 2 seconds you can see the data is received, and if there is an error it will caught in the catch block, and it will give an error message. So now I wanted to explain the to-do list implementation that I have done. So let us look at the code. First let us look at the main function. This function creates an object that manages all the tasks in the to-do list. At the core of this function, I have created an array all that stores all the tasks. So these tasks are the objects. So they have the properties, like they have three main properties, like due date, completed, or title, etc. The completed property tracks whether the task has been finished or not. Now let us see what are these methods. First, let us look at this add method. This method called add allows you to add a new task to the to-do list. So when you call add, you will pass in an object with the task title, its due date, and whether it's completed or not. So this new task gets pushed into the all array. So for example, let's see, if we add a task with the title submit assignment, we use the add method and pass in the task title, its due date, and whether it is completed or not with true or false. So this is the add method to push the items into the all array. Sorry, the tasks into the all array. Now let us see another function. It is mark as complete method. So this allows you to mark a task as complete. So it takes a task index in the some from the all array and sets completed proper, and it's set as completed if the task is set to true. So whenever we call this method by using the index, so it will set the task is completed or not as true or false. So the next method I have written here is overdue method. It returns all the tasks that are past. Okay, it returns all the methods. Uh, Sorry, it returns all the tasks that are past due to their date and are still marked as incomplete. It compares each task due date with today's date and filters out the overdue dates. So this is how it works. This method uses the helper function formatted date, which converts date object to the string format. It makes easier to compare the dates. So the next method is due date, due today. The due today method works similarly, but it filters for tasks that are due for today. It checks the due date against today's date and result returns the those tasks. So next method is due later. So the due later method returns all the tasks that are due in the future. If the task has due date after today, it will be included here. Just like in the previous methods, it uses the formatted date function to check the date and filter out the tasks that are due later. So finally, we have to display everything that we have done. So we have here the displayable list method. So this method formats all the tasks in the readable way. So we have to print those in a console. So it maps over or traverses over all the list of tasks and outputs them as a string. It shows the whether the task is completed or not. For it uses a wrong mark for whether it is if it is not completed, and it gives an empty array if it is completed. So, for tasks that are due today, it doesn't display the date again since it's already understood. But for tasks due later or overdue, it displays the date as well. So, let us see how it works. So, see here we get that overdue task is on some and with some date, and due today with some task, and due later also with some dates. So this is how I implemented the to-do list, and thank you.